How is everyone? Make sure I'm muted over on YouTube. I see Don English is here. Yeah, I jumped the gun just a little bit, didn't I? All right. Dan E. Boyd. I think you two are almost always two of the first. JB's Little Shop. How you doing? I saw JB's video says building a big knife. I thought, wow, you can't go wrong with that. Heavens Mopar Scott with an S. Big Belly Racing. NSB Customs. How's it going? Leighton Welding. Y'all beat me here. Little moth. You can hang out. Just stay back there. Unfinished Project says Dart Sport. Twisted Mopar Dennis. Brian Beeler. Mopar's Mustangs and Minivans. Leighton says, I love seeing the NNN community grow. Indeed. Road Beer Garage. I like that wall of bottles you've got there. Rodney Bird says 195, 195. Actually, 194 and 4 hours exactly. Frank McCart Rivet in F100. That is a great username. Every time I see that, I'm thinking, what specific rivet in an F100 are you talking about? Henry's Hot Rod Garage. Well, good to see you. I like Henry's stuff. I like that dirt racing with the trucks. That is cool. Mopar Jeff 604. How's it going? Mopar Jeff 604. We're just talking about you. I was talking with Bigfoot Mark there at Indy. Turbo Tom, Scarlett. Unfinished Project is asking Henry, are you planning on No Name Nationals 2023? Well, I'll tell you this. Clay has re-entered the No Name 500, and he got to 500. And we've got a few guys that are coming back to the No Name 500, and they're going to make it. Andrew Nelson. New Guys Garage is here. Junk Car Willie, haven't seen you in ages. Chris Greenaway. Who's Your Garage? How's it going, man? Colleen Tebow. I was joking with, I can't remember who it was I was talking with today. I said, yeah, when Colleen and Wendy English and my mom and my aunt all watch, that's enough to give me just this little tiny sliver of female viewership in my demographics so that it's a little bit less than 100% male. Twisted Mopar Garage is going to go to the shop tomorrow and make some videos. Hey, just make some content. Whatever it is, just make it. It'll be great. I really dig what he's working on. My first car is a 70 Swinger, and he's got one in his shop. Factory 340 car. Travis's Mopar Garage. Brakes. I need brakes. Don't we all? Street Fox 347. Dakota's timeout. Henry says, we'll see how things go. Well, yeah, there's 194 days between now and then, but we sure hope you'll get in the mix. We'd like to see you. Andrew Nelson says, recovering slowly. Thanks for asking. I check on Andrew Nelson every once in a while. And seems like he's making progress every day, and that's just great. My mom is here. Shop Cat is here. Lunar Outlaws Garage. What's up, Lunar? Blue Collar Performance. Man, that guy's on the move. Blows up his LS, swaps it out, runs one on nitromethane. If anybody thought that LSs are kind of yawn, no, not with Blue Collar Performance. He makes them interesting. So, Smoke Wrench Garage. Well, the party can start now. We got the smoke wrench. Well, cool. Glad all you guys are here. I didn't book a guest tonight. You guys are the guests tonight. You never know what I'm going to do. You never know. So I might do something. I might do something out of the ordinary today. You never know. Bad Tree Blake. My mom likes Lunar Outlaw, as do I, but he always greets her when he comes in. Chris, sometimes I listen, sometimes depends. Let's see here. Andy just put out an awesome Ford history video. When Andy does those, they always do well. They get good views. Um, cool. Lunar says, who thinks the LS are boring? There's a reason they're used. Well, pencil erasers are boring, and there's a reason those are used too. But I will say the LS is kind of one of these things. It's a great base, but it's up to all the individual content creators to season them, right? Dust Devil Garage. How you doing, man? I thought you'd fallen off the face there. I saw Brian at Indy for about 2 minutes, and he just vanished. Sorry, we had to roll out, Brian. The weather was getting really bad. It took us 4 hours to get back from Indianapolis. Danny Boyd says LS is the Edelbrock carburetor of engines. Maybe so, but let me tell you, the Edelbrock carburetor. I'm old school. When I think Edelbrock carburetor, I think of the modern Carter. My first 4-barrel was a Carter AVS that I took off of a 383 in the junkyard, and I put it on my Dart. And man, did I ever have a lot to learn about, and still do have a lot to learn about carburetors. I want to learn for the whole rest of my life, but that was the one where I learned a lot of stuff just to make them function. Very interesting. Yeah, the weather was crazy at Indy. So I got a transmission core from Two Hacks Jeff, and he had it in a moving blanket, which was nice. But man, the rain was just driving, and they had that wrapped up in a blanket in the back of the Jeep, and it was one of those half cab Jeeps, so it was soaked when it got there. That blanket still isn't dry. I've been hanging it up; it still isn't dry. LS is more like Game Genie, yeah, kinda. We used to have to fight for a lot more gains than you get with an LS right out of the box now. Just for mom right here, because I know she's watching. To my mom, Lunar says you're awesome. Yeah, Lunar. I had mom and I and Jethro. It was the day I think we did the Christmas card photo, so we're all together. And Lunar met us for lunch on his way through from Texas. I got to tell you, when Lunar rolls up in his Buick and he's got cameras stuck all over the outside of it and on the dash and everything else, and I roll in with him in the Cousin Eddie van with the hat and everything, and people are just like, I don't know what those two are doing, but it is definitely not normal. So we drew kind of a crowd. Oh, by the way, Lunar, that red haired guy at O'Reilly, when we stopped for parts, he's still watching our channels. I don't know what his username is, but he's still watching both of our channels all the time. Whoa! Andrew Nelson got 1,010 at the wheels from a 328-inch LS. I'm a believer. Yeah, I am too. I did the LS swap back before they were a thing. They're great. I won't deny that. Blue collar, they're so wanted around 600 is the cheapest you'll find. I don't know. I don't really know prices and such like that. Chris Greenaway says that he's buying a 460. Let me tell you. So that transmission that I did at Cope's place was a fugitive from New River Community College. It was a guinea pig there, and that's why it had all kind of mismatching stuff and stuff missing and everything else. So some of us walked out of that school with souvenirs that the school said, we're getting rid of this. And the thing is, you never knew from one day to the next what they're just getting rid of. Like one day, I was told, and if they told you to put it in a dumpster, they didn't care if you took it with you. They didn't care. They were throwing in the dumpster 11 new AC compressors, Sandon AC compressors for Chrysler products. 11 new, throwing them in the dumpster. They were donated. So anyway, those went on a cart and immediately went right by the dumpster. And I still have most of them, but yeah, they throw stuff like that away. So anyway, one guy came in and donated a Ford 460 one day. Nothing wrong with it. Well, nothing wrong with it until this guy got it. But he took this Ford 460 and he backs his truck into the bay and was going to donate it. I think they give him a receipt for tax write-off or something. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I can't remember. But the guy backed up with his truck to the bay. He got up in the truck bed, dropped the tailgate, and rolled the 460 off onto the concrete floor. Just smashed through the oil pan, valve covers, distributor, carburetor, just smashed it all off. He rolled it off just like he would scrap metal at the dump. So anyway, one of the students said, I'll take it. So he gets a crane, and he uses, it had to have been a 1/4 bolt in each end with a chain to lift a 460. And he lifts it up. Thinking back, that was incredibly dangerous. But he lifts it up with that and then backs his truck in. And no sooner than he stopped underneath of it, backing his truck in. I'm glad he wasn't rolling the crane, swinging it around. He lifted it up, backed the truck in underneath of it. And no sooner than he stopped that truck, that bolt sheared off and the engines fell down in the bed of a, I guess it would have been a second generation Dakota 2-wheel drive. But I think he wound up taking it. He took it to a farm field, got it out of the truck himself. I assume he just rolled it off on the ground just like the other guy did. Took the oil pan off of it upside down and left it out there in the field. And that was the last I ever heard of it. So a lot of stuff just got destroyed. But the air conditioning compressors I got, the transmission came from there, but it got saved. That's the one that we built over the weekend. Or not over the weekend, last week, the one you saw last week. LS with a factory tune can be beat any day of the week. Yeah, why not? But if they're great engines, they really are. When I did a 1/4 yes, sir. I still remember that. Oh, and the head of that bolt was never found. I have no idea where. Probably flew off with enough force to just get sunk in a wall or something. Who in the world knows where it went? It probably would have just shattered glass or whatever, an eyeball or whatever it hit. That was some of the kind of stuff that went on in there. I have some great stories, stupid stories, funny stuff, but I can't think who I was Cope I was talking with. I don't know if I can even think that I have a single picture, and I'm sure I don't have any video, but I don't think I even have a single picture from the entire time I was at New River Community College. And I think back like, man, what a shame that was. All the cool stuff there was that we should have taken pictures and video of, and we had a transmission dyno and all kind of stuff. And yeah, some dude 2 counties away was passed, had no idea why. Yeah, okay, yeah. LS is also probably the most searched thing on YouTube. Yeah, maybe. I'll tell you, I did an LS swap way back there before it was a thing, right? The motor mounts I used were prototypes from F-Body Performance down in Charlotte, North Carolina, way back there. I don't even know if that guy's still alive or not. But they were prototype mounts that he had powder coated. And I put that thing together. I thought, wow, I cannot believe how little you have to do with an LS to make that thing just absolutely scream. And I sit here and think about the comparison of doing that with anything LA Mopar, and I'm like, I'll admit it, it's a better mousetrap, but it's not just about the number you run. Buff says Sketchy's my middle name. I'm all for Sketchy, but I don't like unsafe. We did have one guy get a finger broken there with us, either transmission or a transfer case, trying to get it out from under a bench. And as a person who's had a pretty good hand injury, I don't like unsafe, sketchy things with my hands or eyes, because you only get two of them. You only get two eyes. If you mess one up, you're not blind, but you don't have any depth perception. That's kind of like your pass. Brian Beeler says, thanks for helping bring the YouTube enthusiast channel together. Yeah, man, I love it. I think it's great. I enjoy Beeler's roundups. I was telling Cope about it. He said, send me a link. He thought that was an interesting concept. You do a neat niche. I don't always get to catch when you do them live, but I do think they're fun and interesting. LNA says, I can tune with a screw, not so much the computer. It was interesting because that one we tune with computer. Chris says, who I think is going to win. I hope Andy doesn't try to do that on the street and go out and wreck the thing and spin and everything. If they have it at a track, I think it's going to be Casper. I think that's where they should have it, is at a track. Ron English says, no Band-Aids allowed at NNN. Yeah, there's Band-Aids allowed. I have a red med bag that hangs up in my pit space there, and the med bag has Band-Aids in it. But all I ask is that if you cut yourself, have somebody else get the Band-Aids out so that you don't get any blood in my med bag. That's all I ask. Andrew Nelson says, we have a stock 6-liter that runs 1120s at 118. No fuss, no struggles. I totally believe that. Uh-oh, unfinished project is already counting the Saturdays until Nationals 28. I tell you what, one thing about unfinished project, that guy has a keen sense of time and getting things done and being goal oriented. And so, when I tell you have 194 days and 3 hours and 44 minutes, and he tells you have 28 Saturdays, we want you to be keenly aware of your time so that you can adjust your priorities and goals. We just want to see as many people, get the things accomplished they want to. The main thing is that they get there, but it's even more fun when they get to bring the things there they wanted to. Blake says, I was just going to add money to the Just Mopar Joe pot, but why would I want to pay myself? Hey, I'll tell you what, I had 4 people that I thought were going to be anybody's race in the bracket, and it was Blake and Andy and 318 Will Run Tim and Joe. I said any of those 4 I think it's going to be, and 2 of those were in the final. Blake could totally run the table this year, not remotely out of the question. He's a good bracket racer, probably more than people on YouTube realize, because most of his bracket stuff was all well before YouTube. Big Belly Racing said, did you change the pump on the 904? No, the pump actually looked great. It needed a little work, but it was okay. We polished it. Twisted Mopar Garage says, I carry a can of carb spray, paper towels, and black electric tape. That's all good stuff to have with you. Frank McCart Rivet in F100. What does that username mean? Frank McCart Rivet in F100. I really like that. I always think of the rivets they use to put like the leaf spring hangers and stuff into the frame on those trucks. That's what I think of when I see that. He says it's all about cost, and whatever you want to put into a motor applies to every platform. Sure, absolutely. And the only general advice I would give on that note is especially if this is your first year for the No Name Nationals, keep it simple. Keep it simple and focus on being cost effective and reliable, and not thinking I can do it if everything goes right, and using all of my time, because I'm hoping the main thing is that every person makes it there. We want everybody to make it there, and keep it simple an attainable goal, and then next year just keep adding to it. So for example, if you're building a new car and you say, well, I have a new car, but I want to do an engine and I want to do a transmission and I want to do gears, you might want to reevaluate. You might say, okay, the rear end is fine. I just want more gear. Leave it alone. It runs. I just want, another cam, one other car, one more heads. Make sure you shake the bugs out. Make sure it'll survive the trip. Put your efforts into that the first year. And then the next year, if you get it all shaken down and all that goes well, now it's time to start saying, hey, maybe I do want to have an extra center section and more gear. Maybe I do want to have, another cam and port the heads, et cetera, et cetera. I would recommend that. Of course, you guys, the content creators, do it your way. Chris Greenaway says, problem with me is I'm a cruising car guy, not interested in running ETs. That's why is that a problem? I think that's great. It's no problem there. Cruise them. New Guy's Garage says, like my engine build in the living room, I do have a crank for it now, though. All right, man, let's see. I mean, you got nitrous on there and you don't have a crankshaft, so we'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, New Guy's Garage, that Torque Flight is by my reading chair in the living room. And why not? It's perfectly clean. Yeah, Buff says no problem. Show up, show the car off, and cruise. Right. Get your subscribers. Make that commitment to the community. As you can see, the community will really help you. 6% recycled wants to know if you're going to race in the living room. Jure Racing is powering up. Don't count Ricky out. I never count Ricky out. Andrew Nelson says, anybody building a gasser or gasser style car for the No Name Nationals? Raise your hand. 6% recycled says, I'm aiming to win the 31 1050 mud tire class. All right. Spoke Wrench Garage says, settle down, boys and girls. There's going to be a dart sport in the winner's circle at No Name Nationals. Excellent. Are you going to win the bracket, the burnout competition, or the 28-10-5, Smoke Ranch? LNA Auto Works says, that's what the trailers are for. I don't expect it to last. Speaking of trailers, I had a turn signal that went rogue on me on the CRV. And it was acting kind of like the signal switch, but it wasn't that because I took the column apart. I jumped around. It still had the same problem. I checked out the trailer harness wire, and it all looked good. All the part that's in the trunk, because on a CRV, your trailer wiring is inside, because that's where the connector is. And then you run it outside the door, and it's designed to do that when you want to hook up to a trailer. But it all looked really good. No problems there. So I went on, looked at the ground, looked at something else, checked some bulbs. Then I said, okay, maybe I need to dig into this. So I took the panel off the back. And when I got into the trailer wiring on the part I couldn't see, it had been rubbing. It looked like it fried the box, but that's exactly what it was. It was the part of the, I figured if there was any damage, it had happened in the trunk, but no, it was the part that was protected, or so I thought. So my new trailer wiring will be here Tuesday, but I'm glad to have that fixed. You never know when I'll need to tow a Roadrunner or something again. Got to have my trailer wiring. It's a 73 F100 short box with an airplane rivet and rust style paint scheme. Fantastic. That sounds great. Mad Tree Productions says, hopefully I can run Ricky at Tri-State a bunch this summer. Made sure he's good and used to dart tail lights. Yep. I'll tell you what, the plot is a thickening. Just Mopar Joe, as you might have seen, has a bounty out on him now. And I don't know where this came from, because John Cope really likes Just Mopar Joe. He's a JMJ fan. But we're riding back from Indy, and just out of nowhere, Cope says, I want to put a bounty on Joe. Okay. He says, and then he just tells me it's $50 to take him out in any round, $100 to take him out if you have a CRT sticker on your car, $150 if you have a CRT sticker and CRT parts in your transmission. I'm like, oh, okay. Sounds good to me. There's my Aunt Nancy. How you doing? Blue Collar Performance says, I'm bringing a trailer tire so that I can send it the burnout pit without worrying about making it home. I bet you he's going to put on a show. Nate's going to put on a show. Well, Chris Greenaway, have fun with that Montego. Let us know where you are with that next year. Nancy Cook says hello and hi. An indirect connection. Jason, how's it going? I like Jason. Jason is one of these guys that will run through a block wall if he needs to make something happen. Jason is a doer. And Brass Smoke Wrench Garage is in the bracket. All right, you got your work cut out for you. Those guys aren't going to give it to you. Smoke Wrench, you got to get through somehow. Somehow you're going to have to get around a lot of really good bracket racers. Tony's Hot Rod Garage is here. Tom is going to win the bracket with the U-Haul. That, you know what? If Tom wins the bracket with the U-Haul, that is a story and a half. Let me see here. By the way, of course that didn't work. If you notice, there's a link pinned at the top. Bad Attitude C10, Blake. I talked to him this morning, and his internet is kaput. I think it's storms or something. Something's going on. But there is a link at the top to his channel. He's at 493. If you have not yet checked out his channel, you may want to check out his channel. He does some interesting stuff over there. And I think today's his day. I think he needs 500 today. So it may not work out for him to be on a live to get them, but I'll let him know if he has. So check out his channel. He's pinned at the top. Blake with Bad Attitude C10. Interesting channel, interesting guy. I don't know that he does any gun content on YouTube, but he does gun stuff too. So maybe he's put some of that on there. I don't know. He was sick week. Lots of video there. And excited about the No Name Nationals. I need to get something out of my phone. And if Blake gets to 500 subs, we might bring on a guest. How about that? I like how everybody greets each other. That's really cool. That's something we need to do. Dizzy Izzy says, any NNN stickers left? I'd like to get a couple. Dizzy, now I'm doing this for everybody. Dizzy, I'm going to send you a couple. How's that? Since I know my mom is watching, you don't mind, shoot me a text after this live's over so I don't forget, or tomorrow morning or something. And I'm going to drop you some in the mail. Danny Boyds is probably one of the only CRVs which tows. Probably the only CRV that's ever towed a Roadrunner. Most of the old parts and rust, how's it going, Patrick? Patrick wants Joe in the first round because Patrick has a CRT sticker and he has CRT parts transmission. And if he gets a Slant Daily Garage sticker, Patrick he can get 300 right there if he takes out Joe in round one. And if he goes on to win the bracket, that'll be a total of $800. BNR says, what is allowed with regards to factory EFI fuel lines with rules? If it came that way from the factory and it's in good shape, it's probably okay. I will ask Deke for you. In fact, let me do this. I have my sheet for Deke right here, and I will put it up right next to my screen so that I cannot forget that. And I will ask Deke. I'll bug him about it tomorrow. Let's see here. Slant Daily Garage says 195 days. Professor P, if you were here about 1 minute ago, I mentioned that you're contributing to the bounty on Joe. So for somebody to claim the bounty and take out Joe, obviously they're going to want to have a Cope Racing Transmissions decal to get well, if they take out Joe, it's 50 from Cope Racing Transmissions. If they take him out with a Cope Racing Transmissions decal on their vehicle, it's 100. If they take him out with both of with the Cope Racing Transmissions decal and Cope parts in the transmission, it's 150. And if they have a Slant Daily Garage decal, which will be given away there, that's going to be another 150. Not to mention the payout for the bracket itself, which is $500 to win. There's Lars. How's it going? Ron English says, Mom. My mom is probably more popular in the chat than I am. I think it's great. Slant Daily says the 66 Dart is coming for the 28 10-5 class. Yeehaw. Uh-oh, 494 for a Bad Attitude C10. Yeah, 500, he's in. Really? Let me look. I certainly believe that, but I always have to see it and screenshot it. Wow, just like that. There we go. So, that Attitude C10 is in. And now, let's see here. I'm going to unpin his link. And I saw 6% recycled in here. 6% recycled. Are you in here? If you are, stick your head up here and holler if you happen to be in here. Oh, wow. I got behind there for a minute. There we go. 6%'s in here. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is, because he's here, make sure I can do this without messing it up. Ooh, moving fast. Wow. All right, there we go. I have pinned the link for 6% recycled. He's pinned up there now. And you're up next. %. You could jump on if you wanted to. I don't know that I have your phone number handy, but we could do that. Yep, Rob's at 422. See, you never know what I'm going to do, though. So I just said Tony's at 434. That's right. 6%'s link is up. 6%, do you want to come in here? Do you want to be on screen? Pitch the case for you want to pitch your case for getting to 500? You're close. Let me go to my leaderboard here. 6%'s at 442. Only got 58 to go. Sure. Okay. Well, you know what? In that case, all right, guys, don't be bored out of your mind. I'm going to grab some info real quick. Find where 6% registered. You see, the way I kind of do this is when I know that somebody's friends with such and such, they usually kind of register together. So that tells me where I find them. Then I go to my tabs, where he registered. He was the 60-something channel registered, I believe. There we go. Let's see here. All right. Let's see if I can do this. All right, 6%. You've got the link. You are up next. Andrew Nelson, 6% recycled, is our resident AMC guy. And I need an AMC part for a project I'm working on now. Maybe I'll talk with 6% recycled after this. Colleen Tebow doing some Oldsmobile 442 trivia. Nick the Van Man's at 333. That's right. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans has my 96 sticker. Okay, yeah. So here's the deal. If you have your car stickers and they're still on, don't peel it off your wall and put it back on your car. You don't need to do that. But if you have it, I'm 95, 98% certain you're going to be able to keep your car numbers. Okay? So don't need to pull it off. Andrew Nelson says, Dr. Sylvia, 4-month recovery. He's on top of things. I predict Andrew will do well. And he knows we're here for him. Unfinished project says 13. Twisted Mopar Barrage says, can't find 6% on YouTube. The link to his channel is pinned in the top of the chat. Pretty sure. Yeah, the link is pinned in the top of the chat for 6% recycle. I think most people still have their numbers in their cars. I couldn't believe how many still do. Unbelievable. Yeah, Bad Tree says it's staying on the nacho. It's actually cool on the nacho. 21 right on the door. Looks great. Most of the old parts and rust, let me tell you, man, you look at your safety on your car. That car is going to get quick, man. That duster is serious. Testa Speed Shop, how's it going? Road Beer Garage chipping away. Yep, I'm always watching. Chipping away. And in case you guys want a listing of all of the No Name 500 registered channels, they are all there in order on my YouTube homepage. Not on my page here, sorry. It's pinned in the top of the chat. So when you look at the chat, you'll see at the very top on YouTube. You must be on your phone or something. I'll drop the link again just in the chat, Dennis. Here. Now, I know you'll see that. Because no matter what, you're probably on a phone or a different browser or something. But that 6% recycled, I just dropped that in the chat as well, live. Smoke wrench is a 222, yeah. Jonathan Couchy is putting together a 360 for a well-painted 86 D150. 500 lift at the valve and soon higher with 1.6 rockers. Cool. Chat must be moving. It's hopping on my end. I am practically missing stuff. Lukey B must be here somewhere. No, it just has a number of subscribers. Don't skimp on safety stuff. Just say it, Andrew Nelson says. Yes. I agree with that. Phone is all I have. Yeah. And so on your phone, the browser may look different. But anyway, I just dropped it in there. If you need me to, I'll drop it in again. Because I know people look on different browsers and such. So There, just dropped it again if you need it. The 6% Recycle does the AMC thing. And by the way, 6% Recycled, I just sent that to the phone number under which you registered. If that's a landline and you need it by email, let me know. Anyone seen a 318 in a Mustang? I don't know that I've ever seen a 318 in a Mustang. I've seen a 440 in a Mustang. But you do have the link, right? 6% Recycled. If you got the link, then I'll be looking for you. Dakota's timeouts at 1:37. I'm looking for Dakota to drop something and take off. Twisted Mopar Garage, if you go to the desktop, if you go to the desktop interface, like on an iPhone, I know you can select that and you have the same thing that you have on your computer, and it will show you all your subscriptions there. Bear Rose has seen a Hemi and a Ford pickup. Yeah, I did. I saw a Hemi and a Ford pickup this past weekend. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans. Thinking about a 5.7 Hemi in my Mustang. That should be like 500th on your list, Damien. Ed's Machine got the new thumbnail avatar there, I noticed. Oh, there's Buck. Joe Royals at 121. Yeah, he's another one that's kind of quiet there. Does good stuff, though. Pure Pontiac Garage. Pure Pontiac Garage probably worried about subs more than anybody, and in 23 shorts, he had something like 700 and some subs. He aced it. All right. Just a second. All right, 6% Recycled that went to your email. The chat is moving. Slant Daily Garage says, want you to know I'm happy to make the bounty on Joe, $150, but you'll have to get it from between the wives. Well, Slant Daily, thanks a bunch for the super chat. I appreciate you. Thanks, man. Appreciate that much. Literally helps keep the lights on. New guy's guitar. Yeah, he was at 100. Now he's at 99. Such first world problems. He's going to make it. I predict that new guys there, Tom. We got new guys Dan and new guys Tom. I think Tom's going to cruise and make it. Twisted Mopar 67, but he's the sleeping giant. He's got great content, Dennis does. He's got really cool stuff in his shop. He's a cool guy, too. I think he should give himself a little more credit. He actually does just fine. I can see it. There's the whole list of, it's on my channel. All right. Ringing the doorbell is 6% Recycled. What's happening?
What's up, everybody?
I'm glad you're here. Glad you could make it.
Yeah, sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
We didn't coordinate this at all. So I just thought this would be good. So Bad Attitude C10 Blake made it. You're now running first in the No Name 500.
All right, I like the sound of that.
You're 440 here. Let me refresh the browser. That would be a good way to go to get 500 tonight.
If it's anything like last weekend, I might go up to 440 and go back down. So we'll have to see what happens.
You're at 445. That would really be something. That would be one of the bigger things we've ever done to get a channel all the way to 500 from 445. But you never know. So, guys in the chat, if you've not yet checked out 6% Recycled, his link is pinned at the top of the chat. He's also on my homepage. Now that Bad Attitude C10 has made 500, he's running first in the No Name 500. So Check him out. If he earned your sub, subscribe. He earned mine. He does AMC stuff.
And I'm always game for suggestions. So if there's something you guys want to see, let me know.
Yeah, I like it. And I got some AMC stuff that I want to talk with you about, but it's top secret for now.
Ah. Well, I'm actually a Jeep guy, and I somehow got snickered into being an AMC guy. So,
well, hey, there's nothing wrong with being an AMC guy.
No.
At Pure Pontiac says, I admit it was way easier than I thought it would be. It's just when you're first starting, it seems like a long way to 500. Here's the thing, though. Man, Pure Pontiac Garage is like content. And before he knew it, oh, look at that. And I'm telling you, he can tell you it. Once you get that ball rolling, you can do it.
Yeah. No, doing the shorts helped me out quite a bit. So I've got pretty good retention on my long form stuff, but I was having trouble getting subscribers.
Yeah, but it's a mix. I mean, there's a lot of huge channels that have never done a short before ever. And then there's guys who've mastered the short, like Dudes with Wrenches, who I saw in here.
Yeah.
Andrew Nelson is asking you what it is you want to bring to the No Name Nationals. Tell us about your build.
I inherited, or I got this weird failed gambler car. It's a Cherokee chassis and a 65 Rambler body, and I'm trying to put them together so it won't kill me, because the way I got it, it's an absolute mess. It's a death trap. So
love it. I'm not usually into fixing someone else's mess. I did do it with that transmission last week. I have done a lot of it. It's never my favorite thing to do, but it's cool though. It's cool. It's a worthy thing.
Well, it was only $1,000. It was $1,100 total delivered from way up north for me in Michigan. And I didn't know how bad it was. And I figured it would be good channel content one way or the other. So
Ed's Machine is saying that Bondo Billy made the logo, the Ed's Machine new logo. Bondo Billy's a neat channel. I like his stuff. I get a kick out of what he does. So Buff's in here. You can post links of any of these channels you wish, but they're all on my YouTube homepage. However, that said, I'm focusing on 6% recycled. That said, please, by all means, check out and subscribe to any of these guys. Rob's Rods and Street Cars is at 422. But I've got the link pinned right now for 6% recycled. And Buff, you're free. Any of the mods are free to post any links that they wish.
I tried to always go through the live streams and go to people's channels and watch a video or two, subscribe, and just to try to support the community.
And I appreciate that. And they appreciate that. We all appreciate that. You're a 448. You're only 52 out of 500. You're almost 90% of the way.
It's been a struggle. I started YouTube in 2022 effectively, and I've just been pushing and putting out at least a video a week. So just trying to be constant and consistent.
You're doing it to it. Dizzy is saying that four-wheel drive will jump off the line. Yes, it will.
Oh, look at that. I'm pretty sure that with the run of a 4-liter Jeep engine, I'll have everybody off the line, but probably after that, no, not so much.
So what was the end for AMC? What year would that have been?
I want to say it was around 84 to 86. I can't remember exactly, because Jeep bought them out, or effectively Eagle and Chrysler bought them out just for Jeep, basically.
Yeah. So the CJ7 last year was 86, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably something like that. And then I know the CJ5, I think the last year for the 5 was 83. I think it's something like that.
I can't remember anymore. It got to the point where I think they had to stop it legally because they were too short and there were too many problems with rollovers.
Huh. So they had to stop making something that worked for 50 years because it was all of a sudden not okay.
Well,
Sounds
yeah,
about
that's
right.
that's normally how things go.
Dudes with Wrenches is saying 87, 88. Chrysler bought them in 87. Yeah, I think the Wrangler's first year was 87. So that makes
Yeah,
sense.
the YJ came out in '87. That was technically AMC's last hurrah, but it's all Chrysler anymore.
Mohawk's in here, MM78. Jeremy's in here. Andrew Nelson's saying 87. I'm the consensus looks like 87. So we'll go with about that.
Yeah, it was in around that time frame. I don't doubt they're right. It's been a while since I actually had to think about it on the spot. So.
Yeah, AMC is just one of the best makes for trivia there is. Slant Daily there, Professor P is saying it technically, officially went defunct June 20th of 88. So, okay, right in there. How's that? I was in middle school.
I was 10, so.
Right, exactly. Jeremy, I'm glad you're here. Glad you're lurking. I'm really thoroughly enjoying your Motley Crew Cab content you've got going on. Punisher Lamont says AMC were weird to work on for sure. Well, I guess it depends what you worked on.
Well, everything AMC is half. You never know if you're going to get a Chevy motor, Chevy column, Ford brakes, Ford master cylinder, Ford ignition. Right.
Ford starter, Chrysler transmission.
And that carries over. My 06 TJ still has American hardware on it. It's not all metric. It's a hodgepodge.
Messaging Cope about a valve body. Call him Monday. Cope is the valve body man. I should show Blake a picture. I almost made this the thumbnail today, by the way. If I can hunt it up. Speaking of valve body, I may or may not be able to just grab that. I must take an awful lot of pictures. It takes me forever to get back to find anything. Parts room, parts table. Indy, it was before that because I had it in there the day before. Laser etching has to be right in here. Got it. So when I was doing valve body stuff, this is my valve body. There are many like it, but this one is mine. So anyway, if you know, you know. Blake has been trying for I don't know how long to get a precision performance product shifter in. That's pretty cool. Jeremy says gears. Yeah. The thumbnail I did use was just a pile of planetary. I have never seen so many planetaries in one place in my life as Cope has piled up on a shelf.
That's cool. AMC did make a lot of their own motors. They also ended up buying motors from everybody else too. As the years went on, when their V8s kind of tailed off, they bought V6s and Chevy 4-cylinders and everything else.
They bought the Iron Duke. They Jeeps even used torque flights. The Dispatcher Jeep, the DJ5 had a torque flight in it.
Yeah, they used 2.8 from the Cherokees, and they bought the Buick. I want to say it was 231, and then I think Chevy bought it back from them after a while.
Yep, next week again. Blake has heard next week. I don't know how many weeks. Bear Rose is saying the 2.8 V6. Yeah, AMC did all kinds of stuff like that. I think it's kind of neat. It's kind of neat.
Yeah. I have a 90 Comanche, and it has a straight out, no funny business, straight GM column with a Jeep horn button on it. Everything's the same.
Oh, look at that. Auto Salvage Outlaws is saying 448 subscribers, 52 away.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you may not get to 500 tonight. I mean, it would be the second biggest haul we've ever done on subs at one live. But if we did,
but anything was great.
Yeah,
so.
You're going to be a lot closer. Actually, sorry, Don. 6% is going to be putting a stretch on you and Tony. Pure Pontiac had a Wagoneer that had a 318. Oh, yeah.
Well, if it makes everybody feel better, this is likely the only race I'm going to win in the No Name Nationals. So, keep your fingers crossed.
Oh, you never know. Well, see, we have awards that are just based on all kinds of crazy things. There might be an award that you win. You never know. I guarantee you that old Stephen Myrick, Big Block 402, was not going there to win the worst oil down, but he did. So there's things you can win there that you don't count on winning.
Well, I am trying to win the non-existent 31 1050 mud tire class. So
I saw that. I like that.
I'm going to drive, assuming the Chambler runs and everything's good. It's taking me down there and taking me back. There's no trailers. So
Twisted Mopar Garage says the tilt columns are all GM columns. I knew they had GM columns, but I didn't know that they had any tilts. See, only thing I know really about any AMC stuff is my dad had 2 Jeeps, and one of them was an AMC Jeep.
Yeah, they have a very strange mixture of everything, honestly.
Ron says, as long as you cross the 500. Exactly.
Yeah.
And the community will put all their weight behind you.
I've had a ton of support, and I've found a lot of great channels, and I've met a lot of friends headed towards this 500. It's really worked out well so far. I'm very happy.
Absolutely. This community is second to none on YouTube of any kind of community, not just automotive. Second to none. We have great people, and we have piles of talent. We've got people that can do everything in this community. It's great. Sam Mountain Ballistics is here. Look at it.
You don't mind plugging, John. We're going to do a cross stream again on Monday night. A couple of the guys, if that's cool, I'll tell everybody about it.
Yeah, of course.
Myself, New Guys Garage, New Guys Guitar, the Junkyard Necromancer, and Witty's Garage are going to be doing a live stream Monday night. 7 my time, which is Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain.
Yep, excellent. All fun guys. They have a fun live. Check them out.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I hope to see everybody there. It should be fun. We get along real well.
Jonathan Couchy saying the first automotive brand everyone forgets is the International Harvester with their V8s, basically tractor engines.
Yeah. That's actually what I did my high school term paper on, was the International Harvester Scouts. So.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. Slam Daily says, come on Tech Talk Wednesday in the chats. We'll try to get him subs. Yeah, so, only with you guys' blessing, but seems like Professor P and Dallas are down with that. If you guys want to, mention your channel and that you're looking for subs on the Wednesday Tech Talks, it's up to them. But, yeah, you guys make some great stuff. When I say you guys, I mean collectively, the No Name 500. You guys are doing great things. We had some real rock stars in that No Name 500, too. Barrow says International Harvester is the home of the Slant 4.
Yeah, I think they cut a V8 in half and sold it as a 4-cylinder straight, just a half a V8.
Neat. Yeah, that's a weird black hole of knowledge for me. It's interesting stuff, but
they were a neat vehicle, and it wasn't something, they made tractors for 80 years before they even tried to make a truck. So
Smoke Wrench got a bounce. We'll see you, man. I got to meet Smoke Wrench at Indy.
Come here. Sorry, dog. Down.
I'm sure my dog is asleep. I'm not seeing
mine
him anywhere. The International Scout were tough to kill. Yeah, that's true. So in 2017, I went through the top end of my dad's Jeep. It's a 258 inline six AMC. It got overheated, had a valve hang. I went through the top end, just through the head. The main bearings I know have been bad. The thrust bearing has been completely gone in that Jeep. I know the thrust bearing was gone before we moved from Bluefield. So that thrust bearing has been gone in it for 27 years. And it still runs and has enough oil pressure to survive. And I mean, when I say thrust bearing gone, you can push the clutch in and just watch the crank jump forward in this thing. That's how bad the thrust bearing is. So yes, they are tough.
There's a channel I follow, Sally's Speed Shop, and he has a old Hornet wagon, and he ran it without water, and it's amazing to watch the amount of goo that came flying out of this motor, but it still ran.
Yeah. Dennis there, Twisted Mopar, was asking you, what kind of dog? Let's see him. Oh. What's his name?
This one is Max. I'll try to get the camera over here. I have two Dobermans.
Oh, yeah?
And this big lug is Max. The other one's Fiona.
Oh, cool.
They always interrupt my live stream stuff, so.
My dog hates the office. He hates my studio here. It's too bright for him. It's loud. He just doesn't like it. So as soon as the live goes off, he's happy. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm not that lucky. They love attention, and anytime I'm not talking or paying attention to them, it's game on. So.
Well, most people's dogs do. Mine would be fine, but it's just not his bag.
Yeah.
You guys want him on a live. The only way I can do it is before the live starts, I got to have a strip of bacon, like right here. And then as soon as he finds out I have that, he'll get on camera if he has to get it. But that's about it.
New Guys was mentioning I had the 7th surgery on my foot last week. It's the 18th surgery I've had. So
wow.
I had a liver and kidney transplant in 2016. Man. And if I get a chance, I try to say to people, I wouldn't be here without it. So if you've got a chance to be an organ donor, please do it. Because I'm literally only here. I would have died in 2017 without transplants. So
wow.
Definitely, if you can do it, please. And it's definitely slowed me down, but I pumped about 3 weeks worth of content out filming before I started for the surgery. So I've got stuff I'm just going to be editing for the next week solid. So
great PSA.
Yeah. No, I do appreciate, and I wouldn't be here. So if you can, definitely do it.
Yeah. You know, we save a lot of cars by recycling parts, and 6% recycled.
That's part of what the name is, because technically I'm 5.3% recycled people, and also I'm recycling cars. So I figured it was a good trade-off of names.
Road Beer Garage says he's all for the organ donor program. Not that anyone would want my liver.
Well, no, it's selective. It's selectively donate if it comes to it.
Right.
So. No, correct me if I'm wrong, John. No Name was your idea, or you're the main promoter this year? I'm not 100% sure on the history.
No, so I had the idea a few years ago, and then I got with Dallas to help me work out, the track and that kind of stuff, and we worked on developing the structure of the event together, but. Really and truly, what I wanted was I said I would never live long enough to go visit all of my YouTube friends where all of them are. But I bet you if I rented a track in the middle of the country and got enough of them together, they would all want to come for each other. And that worked out just fine.
I think it's a neat idea. I'm glad I found out about it. I'm glad I'm trying to win my way into it.
Andrew Nelson says organ donors on his license, believer in the gift of life.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Barrow's Garage says very, very cool, man.
Yeah, I consider myself lucky every morning. I have my issues and I have my problems, but I wouldn't be here. I'm 6 years plus on borrowed time, and I'm trying to make every minute of it. So,
Yep. Colleen Tebow says you'll make it 6%. Well, he's definitely going to make his 500 subs. I mean, it would take something crazy for him to not. Where are you right now? Let me look and refresh the browser.
I don't know. I'm
By the way,
behind on the chat. So
449. It's only 51. You're going to come out of this live closer than you were before, but we didn't plan on doing a sub drive or anything tonight. This is just all unplanned.
No matter what, I appreciate all of it, guys. I thank you very much for all the support.
Thank you. I just thought I would see if you wanted to come in here.
Yeah, it took me a minute because it's hard for me to move around. I got a cast on my foot, and then my computer didn't want to play games. So
yeah, well, it happens. So see, when it comes to the lives for the No Name 500 stuff, I make that what I call an ambush live. You don't know what's coming, right? It's just very spontaneous. And to me, that's incentive for people in the community to watch because you never know what I'm going to do. I don't get too predictable, right? So I don't advertise those. You know I'm going to be live from 8 to 10 Eastern on Friday. You know that. But sometimes we just go live randomly. And sometimes we have guests on you don't know we're coming. And I've got a couple of good guests in the hopper that nobody knows are coming. So they're coming. Big Belly Racing wants to know how long you waited for your transplant.
I found out right after Christmas in 2015, and it took me 10 months to get healthy enough to make it onto the list because you actually have to be healthy enough not to die for them to even be willing to give you an organ. And I was on the list for all of 4 days. The people in front of me were unfortunately out of town and they couldn't get back in time. So I got a phone call, had a half an hour to make it about a 45-minute drive, and I was on a table and out in about 10 minutes.
Wow.
I was extremely lucky. Very, very, very lucky.
Man, you talk about timing. That's incredible.
It was crazy. It was 13 hours of surgery too. It was one of the worst and the best experience of my life kind of rolled into one.
You could literally have your life staked on answering your phone.
You do. You truly do.
It could literally be that wild.
It's all about your numbers meet your numbers. If you're sick enough to be in a certain, they call it a MELD score, you have to meet a certain range. And then there's a lot of stuff involved in it. And it was luck of the draw. And unfortunately for the person in front of me, they weren't here to get it. And I was, and I'm very lucky.
And luck of the draw with donor suitability, luck of the draw with just what happens. I mean, there's a huge component of chance to all of this.
It's I've never played poker before, but I guess I've won the biggest game of poker in the world. So,
wow. Kim Fixes Things is here. Infamous Nova's here.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, glad you. Hot Rod Guy Garage, who just recently crossed the 500 threshold himself.
Well, that Fiero guy's in here too. He's got a neat channel. He's building a hot rod Fiero.
Yep. Fiero, Cultured Redneck Garage. Kyle there. I've been asked, are you going to jump back in the No Name 500 this year? I hope you do. Cultured Redneck Garage, you know, he's got his Mopar project, but something else that you don't see as much of is his sand rail. He's got some Volkswagen stuff that'd be neat. I would love to see that come to Sykeston.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, Kim, I'm glad 6% is here. Agreed. Yeah, Infamous Nova salutes. Yeah, you got a good crowd here tonight. Great crowd.
I'm very happy to be here, and I'm happy everybody else is here tonight as well.
6% recycled. Do you have any questions for them? I mean, this is an opportunity to ask 60-some, 70 people any questions you might have.
Like for me personally, I've never edited anything before, and I'm tweaking everything and trying to get the sound right and everything balanced out. I'm going to end up having to use a new editor, but is there anything that you guys have watched with my videos you think I could improve on? Because that's the biggest thing is I want my content to be good enough that people want to come back, not just because of this race and everything we're doing for each other, just because I'm entertaining, or at least I hope to be.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you, the after the No Name 500, you can go back and look on my page. And I just only refer to that. It's not promoting my channel, but that's just where I keep it all together and keep it updated. On my page, not only do we have a list of No Name 500 contenders, which 6% recycled is in the lead for right now. His link is pinned at the top if you want to check him out. But also, right below that, we have the list of No Name 500 alumni. Those are people who made it last year. And the few who've made it this year are now on that list too, but they're in order of how they made it. And that doesn't count all the established channels. And when I say established, all established means is that they registered with 500 subs or more so that they were not part of the No Name 500. That's all established means. But I do keep the No Name 500 contenders who made it past and present on my channel. And when 6% recycled makes it, he will move from the contender section to the alumni.
Which I hope to do this weekend. That would be awesome.
You definitely can. You're close. You're 90+% of the way. Infamous Nova just subscribed.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody.
Infamous Nova is a character, too. And by the way, I can hear there's a little bit of time delay on our browsers. So that's making us joust a little bit. So sorry about that for those in the chat, but it happens sometimes. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep an eye on you in the chat, and I'm not ignoring anybody. I'm just trying to follow it, and it's a little off. So
it is, and we apologize for that. But we do the best we can. Punisher Lamont says you're at 451. You're in the home stretch, man. You're over 90%.
I can't thank you enough for everything you're doing for this stuff, John. I really do appreciate it. I mean, what's your history with cars on a personal note? What got you into it, or what do you look forward to the most with car stuff?
I've been a car guy my whole life. I'm a Mopar guy. Love the air-cooled Volkswagens too. I've got to admit that. But I'm a Mopar guy, and I enjoy it. But to me, things are fine. But I'm an idea person, and I like getting together all these people who have great ideas and have cool things that come with great ideas. So if you look at it like that, that makes sense why this event means a lot to me. It's just a big family reunion for the automotive content creators. And, the event is not all about the No Name 500. That's just for the newer channels, the channels that need to get to 500 subs. We had people at the event that have thousands and thousands and tens of thousands of subs. But the No Name 500 is what helps people get started. And when you go through that common experience with all these other channels, it makes for a tight-knit community because they have to want to be there and engage the community. That's really all the No Name 500, that's all the 500 sub thing is about. Is it people have to engage with the community, and that's what it does. And it works because you can look at that group. Last year, we did not have a single raised voice, bald fist, argument, fight, nothing. It was wonderful. We had no problems. It was great. We didn't have a single problem with anyone. They were quiet. No problem, no damages. They left it cleaner than they found it. You could not ask for a better group of people than we had at No Name Nationals last year. So if we can grow the community with people like that, of that kind of character, that's a win.
I've noticed how much support I've gotten from so many of the guys that are up over 1,000 subs that have talked so much about the No Name from last year. A lot of support, and just everybody seems to be as friendly as possible.
Right. Cultured Redneck Garage. We should talk air-cooled someday.
Mm-hmm.
I love my air-cooled VW stuff. Spencer's Food Reviews, a.k.a. Spencer Chugs Mountain Dew Live. I got to tell you, Spencer started the channel. Spencer, when did you start your channel? You're over 1,000 subs now. I mean, it's like that. And it's all been from like chugging Mountain Dew and hanging out live. And he's got over 1,000 subscribers. Spencer, do you want to share any of your secrets for channel growth?
Apparently Mountain Dew, I'm thinking, but
I mean, you never know. Barrows is guessing I have a glass eye bug, which means 66 and down. Peckerwood Customs, there is one pinned at the top of the chat. I can post another in there now if you're on a browser that does not show you a pinned link. I will do that right now.
Everybody, if you do subscribe to somebody, try to watch even like a short or something, leave a comment, leave a like, because they tend to bounce new subscriptions if you get a bunch at once, just for everybody's knowledge. Because I've had that run in a couple times with me and with other people I've subscribed to as well.
Auto Salvage Outlaw says you're at 453.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, I've had Jeep problems since I was 2. My first real photo was me in a Jeep shirt and in an old World War II Jeep. And I'm in Michigan, and I've worked for contracts as a mechanic for the big 3, built military vehicles, and ended up as an engineer before I got sick. So,
Ron English is asking, how much bigger do you think the second No Name Nationals will be compared to the first? I don't know. We've got lots of registrations. I mean, we're certainly on course to have a event that's a little bit bigger for sure. I would be thrilled to have an event like we had last year. I loved last year. I mean, as far as numbers go, there really is only, as far as numbers go, the only thing I care about is making sure we get the event paid for. That's it. Beyond that, that's all the numbers themselves mean to me. But what I really care about is I want all of the people to be there who want to be there and be there for each other and have a good time together. That's what I care about.
How many people were at last year's? And is it, I'm looking into joining the AHRA this month. Is that of any benefit other than the fact it helps out the AHRA?
Well, yeah, it helps out the AHRA. But so for one, you get performance-based payout if you participate in AHRA's races. Okay. So if you win, there's payout from AHRA. 2, and this is of interest to a lot of people who don't participate as a regular bracket racer. You're in the Racers Rep discount program of competition products. And so you get between 5 and 25% off everything in the catalog and online with competition products. So it doesn't take long at all to more than pay for your AHRA membership just with that discount. We got lots of guys that are saving a lot of money and making community posts and stuff about it. So
that's cool.
Yeah, that's the 2 biggest benefits of being an AHRA member. But the other thing is the mission. I mean, Dallas wants it for all the right reasons to put the sanctioning landscape back in order. And I'm an NHRA member. I have nothing against them. I have their membership, their competition license. But here's the thing. NHRA is predominantly the sanctioning body for if you're a Top Fuel or a pro team, right? So if you have a Top Fuel dragster, a Top Fuel funny car, awesome. They're your sanctioning body. For those 32 guys, they're your sanctioning body. But there needs to be a sanctioning body for the rest of us. And that's what the AHRA does. Yeah. So so check this out. This is what I'm talking about. He saved $60 on a competition products purchase today. Just today. So there you go.
That's awesome. Yeah, because the AHRA was more the grassroots than the NHRA, and in the past, I'm assuming, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we ate the concession stand out of House and Home last year. We're poised to have a bigger event this year. But to me, look, I already know how many people are coming back, and there's some people that are. It's funny how the numbers work with this, because you'll have people who have made content all year about how they are coming back. They were there last year, they're coming back, and they haven't registered yet. I fully expect they will, but I can't say they're registered right now because they're not. They're just eccentric. They're going to wait till September the 15th to register. Then you've got people I've never heard of that are registered, kind of laying in the weeds. So the registration numbers, trying to do that off numbers now is just not helpful, trying to predict car counts and such off of that. What I can tell you is that we had a massive rush of registrations the first hour, everybody trying to be first. We had we're ahead of where we were last year this time on registrations. really everything is suggesting a bigger event this year.
Mhm.
But the main thing is we just want to have a really safe event. Nobody crashed last year. Nobody got hurt last year. That's important.
Yeah.
Road
Yeah.
Beers asked about a quarter-mile track. I got to tell you, there's a lot of people who went last year, and they said, I really thought that I was all about a quarter-mile track, and I had so much fun on the 8th, I never thought about it again. 8th mile is a good place to be, I got to tell you.
Well, I'm going to need like a 60-foot track for the Chambler, so if you got one of those.
Yeah, Lambert's better get ready indeed. Yeah, so name 500 guys, it comes upon you quick. Mopar Jeff says 8th saves on parts. Yes, it does.
Yeah, I've got a lot of work left on the Chambler that it's gonna be easily July before I'm even to the point where I'm starting that thing up. So
the other thing about 8th mile racing is that you can have a much quicker car than in a quarter because you're not reaching as high speeds.
mm-hmm.
I mean, so that's to me that's helpful.
Yeah, so you can run a higher speed car without the same safety that you would have to do for a quarter, if I'm correct.
No Gnomes Garage is here. BNR says it's a later TH400. I recall need the 4 LED smooth drum retrofit. BNR, if you're going to put a drum in a TH400, you should make it a billet drum for safety. Because when those things blow up, they blow up on the top end. Road Beer says more about the crowd it could handle. Road Beer, here's the funny thing about the crowd. We had a good gate at Jeffers, but they were all in the pits meeting their YouTube content creators. Like the line at the Bad Tree pits never ran out. There were people there all weekend. They weren't in the stands. They wanted to hang out with the people they met on YouTube, right? There were people in the stands. I mean, it was about like normal, but the gate was bigger, and it's because they were all in the pits. That's fine.
That's cool. Well, it's more of a family environment and more meeting people that you think or you see every day and you get a normal relationship with just from seeing them so much.
I want to, it's important to me that this remain a family-friendly event. That is important to me.
I've heard a couple people say there's camping at the facility. There's also hotels in the area. Or what's that actually work out like?
What's that?
There's camping at the facility, correct? Yes. And there's hotels.
Right.
So how's it all work out?
So we got shower rooms and we've got all kinds of paved pits, campers, whatnot. You could tent camp. There's grass there. What we don't have a lot of is electricity. Okay, mm-hmm. So you need to have a generator. You don't count on being able to have electricity. Mm-hmm. BNR, Ray will get raised TH400 together. You worry about you getting your stuff together. But if you're gonna change a drum, you should think about billet. Mopar Jeff says that's what racing about, family. Yeah, I agree. We didn't have anybody sore about, not winning a race or anything like that there. That's what I'm hoping for again this year. People who were just there to have fun, and the camaraderie was wonderful. We want that again this year.
That's cool. And then like New Guys Guitar, New Guys Garage, and I are going to meet down there. And I think we're going to have some shenanigans that we're going to bring with us, certain testing equipment, maybe some special stuff we're going to bring with it. It's all in good nature, and it should be a lot of fun as well.
Blue Collar's got a room reserved at the Pear Tree. That's a good place to stay. Best Western was okay. Drury is probably the best place to stay there if you're not staying at the track. I got to say, about half the people stayed at the track. Couldn't believe how many people stayed on site. Tony's Hot Rod Garage says
U-Haul, so.
Tony's Hot Rod Garage is like a family reunion or a drag race broke out. Yeah, that's the idea. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans says I'll be sleeping in my race car. I can see that.
I will probably be getting a hotel room, but I appreciate the camaraderie of the campsite.
He stayed at the Best Western. It was decent. Yeah, I stayed at the Best Western. It was decent. I would get there about 11:30, crash, get up at 6, head back to the track.
Is anybody running a live stream of the race, the whole event, or how's it actually working out for filming?
There's all kinds of streaming that goes on. I'm going to be streaming again this year. The audio was really hard to get a handle on, but I'm working on that. I'm going to have a better stream this year than last. Most of the old parts and rusts can recommend the Comfort Inn. Cool.
Yeah, definitely need recommendations. I've never been to Missouri, so
yeah. Punisher's saying that Nacho Cuda ruined my weekend. Yeah, same setup for internet going to be used this year. Yeah, pretty much, but I'm hoping we can get a little better setup with the mesh network. One thing I will say is I'm going to make sure that I've got good internet so I can run a stream, but I'm going to do better on the audio. The video was so-so. That'll take a minor adjustment. The audio, I'm going to do something different. It'll be much better.
Okay. And there's a mini bike class, and what all is involved with that?
So the monkey bike class is a spec class based on the Coleman CT100U. And those are those little tiny, bikes that Tractor Supply has out front. Coleman CT100U. Retail on them is between $400 and $500 new. You can find them used for less. But people have those, and we've got people making modifications to them. The rules are at nonamenationals.com. And the monkey bike class is pretty robust. We actually had a fair number of them last year, and it looks like more will be out this year. We've got 2Axe Jeff building an outlaw monkey bike, which he can't participate in the class like the monkey bike bracket, but he can. But he can participate in, just call outs and stuff.
It sounds like a lot of fun.
There's 2Axe. He's here. You say his name and he appears with checkered flags. We have Ron, Wendy, Don somewhere. Just about the entire English clan there.
I don't know. I kind of felt outnumbered because it seemed like 90% Mopars were going, but you never know. So,
we're a little Mopar heavy last year, but only because I'm a Mopar guy. So of course I told my friends about it first. But that's changing. We had a lot of other makes too. And this looks like it's going to be the year of the Pontiacs showing up. We got a lot of Pontiacs coming out.
Yeah.
So we will see what happens.
And you'll have at least one AMC Jeep hybrid Franken crapmobile. So
we had a lot of wild stuff there. We had a rock crawler there and everything else. Mopar Jeff 604, what does the bracket race pay? And are you giving Joe the bounty if he wins? Bracket race, the house pays $500 to win the bracket. And no, Joe does not get the bounty if he wins. It gets rolled into next year. At least Copes does. Copes says he will double it and roll it into next year. So it would be I guess up to 300 potential to win next year. If nobody claims it this year.
Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans said somebody named Chucky should be bringing something that might be up my alley there.
Yeah. Chucky. So Chucky's Garage, he's in the No Name 500. And he's a guy that has a gambler car, had a Buick for the gambler. I don't know what he's doing or if he's doing a different car or what. But he's going to bring something exciting and probably not all that fast, highly sketchy. And if you've got something like that, get with us early on tech inspection to make sure that you can pass tech without much fuss when you get there. If you're going to have any hiccups on tech inspection, it's best to find out about them before September 21st.
Yeah. Is there anybody that I should kind of, once I get the Chandler kind of together, is there anyone I should send some photos or talk to first about it? Because
just reach out to me and I can help you with that, because Deke Denny is our tech director, and we can go over things if you want to make sure they're kosher.
Yeah. I'm not too worried. I did stuff like this for a living, but I still want to be safe. So
yep. Oh yeah, of course, because it's better to fix it before you're how many miles from home? How far is Sykeston, Missouri from where you live?
720 or so.
Right. So it's better to fix it at home in your garage than September 21st.
Yeah. Yes.
Or
to get down there and know that I need to change one thing and not have access to it or have to spend hours fixing it. So
right. 2 hacks is saying my money for the fastest Pontiac at the event will be raised Le Mans. Indeed.
Yeah, the Pontiac boys definitely are strong with all their content as of late. It's nice to see.
Oh, yeah. Yep. There'll be a lot of Pontiac stuff there. Dizzy says tech is fairly easy. Yeah, if you just, follow the rules, get your stuff together. They're not out there to make it difficult. That said, they'll be a little stricter this year than last.
Yeah. Well, I also have 2 things that were never meant to be together, and it's a unibody and a unibody. So I'm going to assume they want to look at it. So. I'm not just bringing a car with some license plates as floorboards. So.
Well, there's plenty of that. I don't know how many. We had lots of cars with stuff like that. Well, good night, Ed. Thanks for joining us. Glad you could be here.
Take it easy.
Track going to be long enough for the car show this year. So what he's talking about is we did a group photo last year where we lined up on the track, and the cars were all the way down the track. And this year they'll probably be farther than down the track in the shutdown too. Slant Daily says, makes me happy that tech is tougher. Yeah, because if you're racing against people, you want to know the other car has been through tech. Totally agree with that.
Yeah, safety goes both ways.
That's right. That's exactly right. We didn't want to turn somebody around that came 1,000 miles to participate, but at the same time, we will if we have to, and we want people to take safety seriously.
Yeah.
Don't show up with the top of your roll cage being unwelded. Don't show up with 18-year-old 5-point harness. Don't show up with an open face Evel Knievel helmet that you found at the flea market. You guys know better than that. And this year, there's a lot of stuff that's just not going to let slide.
It seems like everybody kind of stepped up their game after the accident sick week recently. I can't remember the man's name.
We were saying that last year. But then when one of our own gets in a 150-mile-an-hour wreck at sick week, it just shows you how important this stuff is.
I'm very glad he's doing well.
If Andrew had the minimum amount of safety equipment in his car that was required for what he was running, he very well may not have survived that wreck. Yeah. That car had a funny car cage in it. Yeah. And I'm hearing the doorbell.
I saw the video with his son talking about the car and everything that they did and how happy he was at it. Not at what happened, but at least what was there kept him safe.
There's Tony's Hot Rod Garage. He is up second.
Been a long week.
Yes.
How are you doing, sir?
Better now. I was that ditch witch I was working on. I got done with it, and before it was ready to be sent home, I decided I was going to use it and put in a trench so I could get the data line out to the shop. I hit the damn power lines going into the house. It's been a long week.
6% recycled. 6% recycled is just 45 subs away from hitting 500. It's getting exciting.
Yeah, and you were ahead of me for quite a while there, weren't you, Tony?
Yeah. Yeah, it was. You caught me and ran away. But that's what happens when you don't put out any content for a week because you're fixing underground electrical lines.
Yeah, that does make a difference, but I'm extremely persistent. Like I said, this is probably the only race I'm going to win in this whole thing. So,
hey, but you know what?
It's all fun.
That's a win. There are a lot. You cannot win if you do not play.
That's a big
I think I'll have a
win.
little trophy made for myself at the local trophy place, that I've made it in there.
Right. That's cool.
When I put cab mounts in my friend's truck, he made me this trophy.
Nice.
So, all about having fun.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
What else do we have going on in the chat? 38 POS Racing says everyone at No Name Nationals has class. Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely.
That is true.
Wonderful group of people. I was surprised to see Tony's Hot Rod Garage rolling in there all the way from the other side of the world in Arizona. That was pretty cool.
Without a car. And I'd do it all over again.
You're going to, aren't you?
Yeah, but this time I'm going to compete.
Yeah, 455 subscribers, so 6% recycled is getting really close. Buck says, everybody. Hey, I have class. Yes, you do.
And we'll all at least fit into some sort of class there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, well, there aren't really any classes. There's really only one class, and that's 2810. The monkey bikes are a class. They're a spec class. But anybody can run the bracket. Anybody can run the burnout competition. And also, you don't even have to be registered or anything on Thursday to cruise to Lambert's and get in the car show. So we're going to have a big car show at Lambert's Cafe. They're in town. It's 6 miles from the track. And anybody can do that. You don't have to be registered or anything. So Thursday is basically a free day for everybody, even locals and whatever.
That whole Lambert's deal was way cool.
Yeah, I was going to ask I'm going to have to get there earlier because of how far away I am. I was wondering what happens the next couple of days in front of it or behind it.
So Slant Daily Garage is asking you, how about a race against the Slant 6? Professor P chugging the water there.
There you go.
I'm willing to race pretty much anybody. What's involved in your Slant 6 build?
I'm glad you're here, Professor P.
I'd be willing to bet his Slant 6 will take out some of the V8s.
Well, yeah, I'm going to be running a stock 4-liter Jeep engine from the early 2000s. So we're talking 180 horsepower, 260 torque.
So what? It's fun. It's all about the fun.
Oh no, it's going to be fun, but there's no power adders or anything. I mean, granted, I might just have to go to Flintstone floor mode to get a little extra speed or something going.
So we've
I'll give you a half track head start and race you with my big block.
You go to Slant Daily Garage and you can check out his page and see what's going on. Junkyard D says, we just made it 100 miles in 8 hours in a blizzard uphill both ways to get the last monkey bike in the state. I'll be registered soon, John. Excellent.
Nice.
Look forward to it. And we got the doorbell. Looks like now third place in the No Name 500 is here.
Well, there he is.
Oh,
Third place.
How about that?
Third
I've been
One-eyed
sneaky
cat
on you
himself.
guys. So we have first, second, and third here all at one time right now.
Yeah. Best in show. Win place show.
That's it. You just never know what I'm going to have on live. You just never know.
Well, I ended up, you sent my invitation on my phone. I'm watching the laptop. I got my phone over here on the tripod.
Yeah.
Kind of funky
Well,
working with the delay, but.
You can send yourself the link, Don. You can email it to yourself and have the link on your laptop if you'd rather.
I just typed it in.
Yeah. That's how I do it, actually. That's the way I test my links. I hit invite and I type it in manually on my phone and make sure my phone, that's how I test the links before the lives to send them to people.
Yeah, it's not like it's a big, huge, stupid link.
Yeah, I was having trouble with mine. I couldn't get it to come off of my phone and send it anywhere. It wouldn't let me do it.
I was trying to do that this morning with send my wife a link on Facebook, and the stupid thing wouldn't let her share it with the person it was trying to go to.
Levi says Don is wearing an amazing looking hat.
Good money right there.
Yeah,
Nice.
Levi's backyard.
Even though it was given to me, it was still good money.
I kind of like mine, but if you're going to rep somebody, you might as well rep yourself. So
Right.
That's it. Well, that's the thing. I like to rep everybody else. That's kind of my gig, right?
yeah, there you go. And that makes
You
John.
look
That
at
makes
that,
sense.
too.
But at this point, until everybody knows my name, I need them. I don't have the John Wilburn name recognition yet. So
Yeah, but you're on the front page of his channel.
well, that's true.
Well, the thing is, you're building something, right?
Yep.
So, for example, like last year when he registered, there was probably nobody who knew who, for example, JB's little shop was last year, right? Well,
Right.
by the last season, everybody knows who JB is. People love JB, but that's the thing. It just takes a while to build that, and then people will recognize you as part of the community. It just takes a while.
JB's got some cool stuff too.
Just as an example. Same could be said for a lot of these guys. LNA Auto Works, it's the process. Just roll with it. Yes, indeed.
Yep.
But the best way to jumpstart a channel and get out there is to be a robust member of the community by participating in the No Name 500. JB is a stand-up guy. Yes, he is.
Well, JB was our neighbor last year.
Yeah.
If
Great
you
guy.
can
He was just an easy example off the top of my head. But there are a lot of guys who in that same situation. Well, Colleen there is another. Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans. It's another channel that just really got out there through the No Name 500. Two Hacks Jeff has, what are you, Jeff, around 4,600 subs now? And I was your first subscriber on the 13th of January, 2022. He's the biggest No Name 500 channel. Is Jeff. 2X Garage.
Yeah, if you want a driver for your monkey bike, Jeff is the man to go to.
Oh, so he's the ringer.
He's building an outlaw monkey bike. You can check that out on his channel. Heaven's Mopar says, sounds like John read the book, How to Win Friends. I've heard of that book. I've never read it. I mean, it might be worth reading. Oh, that ain't going to work.
Is that a hood page in a 1980s phone book?
38 POS Racing says, I was pitted next to Mopars, Mustangs, and Minivans. Decent neighbors. Yeah, cool people. I got to hang out with them when Andy Wood was making his shakedown passes in Casper. Unity Motorsports Garage. Yeah, 2X Jeff is 4,700 subs. First video was January 13th with no subs, and I was his first subscriber. Indeed. I saw that video, and it's like, he's going to do something No Name Nationals. I'm thinking, okay. That's about it. Well, he showed us all. he did. And for those of you who don't remember it, because it was early last year, one of the first videos that 2Hacks Garage did was Jeff's shop safety video with a boat oar. If you've not seen that, you've got to go watch it. I bet I watched it 3 times in a row before I could click off of it. It's short and it's hilarious. And I knew right there. I knew right there Jeff was a rock star. See, Barrows is laughing just to be mentioned. He remembers it.
I had only really thought about going to No Name, and then I started talking with Tom or Dan from New Guys Garage, and he really got me kind of the bug in my ear to get going for it. And he's going this year too, and I think that'll be fun.
He's a fun character. He's, we have the personality. We win personality over every other event in all of automotive anything. Period, hands down. Look at the characters of people, right? Like New Guys Garage. Who else has a guy that wears a tie? Call him Professor Harbor Freight. I mean, and that's just, and he doesn't even stand out because everybody has so much personality. It's wonderful.
I thought he worked at Geek Squad, honestly, but no. So
yeah, could be. I mean, it's just great, all the personality we have at this event, at this community. It's fantastic. Really, the community is the thing. The No Name Nationals it's our Super Bowl, but the community is the thing.
And everybody has so many varied projects and varied interest levels and knowledge levels. It's good to bounce around. You can find almost anything you need to know.
Absolutely.
Right. Yes, for sure.
When you need to know a guy.
Yeah. Well, you need to know a guy. That's right. No Debbie Downers allowed. We have a wonderful community.
We even know a guy that's got a 5-barrel big block.
That's right. Where else do you see that? Have you ever seen a guy that has a 5-barrel 440 and a 62 Valiant? I bet there's only one on the face of the earth. I mean, New Guys Garage is definitely one of my defining features. Yes. New Guys Garage does not get lost in the crowd. That's our crowd has so much personality, just oozes with personality, more than any other event anywhere of any size.
I'm thinking about doing a kind of a test and tune that weekend. This 5-barrel I was thinking about for Saturday, putting a second 4-barrel on that, see what the 2 4s would do versus the 5.
Well, you can see.
That would be fun.
It might be neat to do a fuel mileage comparison between the two.
That would be cool.
Ron English, we had a lot of established channels there last year. We're going to have even more established channels there this year. But we just want to have all of the people in the community that want to come out and do this together.
Yeah.
Last year was just epic. It's my new family reunion that I'm going to.
Yep.
I
say that all the time.
That falls right close enough to my anniversary weekend that I call it my wedding anniversary. So, and the wife had such a blast last year. For her not being in cars.
Well, last year's was the weekend of my birthday. And this year will be a week before, so it's kind of like my birthday present.
Wendy was a huge help to me last year. She helped shuttle me around a little bit on the grounds because I got to tell you, you walk back and forth that entire property enough times over 3 days, over 5 or 6 days. I was there pretty much a week, setting up, tearing down. I mean, man, there's nothing left of your feet. So Wendy was a big help to me. Yeah, definitely do a mileage comparison. I think that would be a wonderful video. Don, that would get your 500 right there by itself.
Well, I was the last time I went to Carlisle last year. I ended up I got about 16 on the 5-barrel. That was just mostly highway. I wasn't getting into it a whole lot.
One last check on the subs.
Is that a progressive linkage, Don? Does it run primarily off of the 1-barrel until you get into it?
Yep, the way my uncle described it, one will get you in town, 4 on the highway.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it really wakes up when that 4-barrel kicks in. But it's kind of starving on the back half of the motor, so.
Okay.
But it runs.
Yeah, that one barrel technically is about big enough to feed one of them cylinders on that 440.
Just wondered, can you get bigger jets for a one barrel?
You probably could, but it's only going to flow so much air.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely asthmatic.
I mean, look at what's that Thunderhead that put that lawnmower carburetor on that.
No,
Was it 289 or 302? You know, and the thing ran, but you know.
Yeah, but it about turned that carburetor inside out trying to get air.
Oh, I'm sure it did.
Guys, we've got about 10 minutes. We have about 10 minutes left here. I think it'd be cool because we have different people come in at different times. And it'd be neat to just kind of, you guys to tell them each. We'll go around the room starting with 6% recycled. What you've got coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So just let us know what's going on.
No, main focus is my Cherokee Rambler that I'm calling a Chambler. That's my main project. I've also got some Cherokee work on another vehicle, and I've started a shop tour series in Michigan. And my second episode of that will be out towards the end of this month. I'm going around to my first tour was at A&A Manufacturing. My next one is going to be at Sweet Manufacturing. They both make race car parts.
Excellent. By the way, Junkyard D has just registered. He is, now that we have one just graduated from the No Name 500, Junkyard D has just jumped in. I was his 13th subscriber. So nice. Welcome. Right. And Dakota, if you want to talk about M1 carbine modifications, we can talk about that another time. I'm all for it. Just I'll do that a different live or different whatever. All right, Tony's Hot Rod Garage. What do you have coming up here in the next couple of weeks you want to share with people since you're on the verge of your 500?
Well, the next 2 weeks, probably next week, I'm going to get the truck shoved in the garage and we're going to start test fitting the engine and everything into it. The 78 Dodge truck with the 451 big block that's coming to No Name Nationals. I'm going to start doing lives from the garage. That's the whole purpose of putting in this data line that caused the catastrophe this week. So we're going to start I want to get into doing weekly lives from the shop.
Excellent.
Cool.
Plus the weather's warming up, so that'll be nice too. You don't have to shout over the heaters.
No, at least you have a garage. I've been tarped for the winter. Winter's just now starting to show up. But then I got to put a new front end underneath this thing. I've already got a front end kit for it. Need to get the socket, the ball joint socket. Other than that, needs a new front end. New front end and floors. I'm going to run the motor and trannies in it because it already runs.
Might as well.
Tranny for it down the road. So if I blow this one up, it's not a big deal.
Well, the good news is if you blow it up there at Sykeston, your other one will be ready and you can stick it right in.
Tranny. That's saying I hope I blow it up. If I do, I hope it's the front end and not the rear end because then I'll have to go to the junkyard. But we'll be all right. I haven't bloated it up yet or
you'll get it.
Pour anything out yet. I get out on
that. You'll get it. You'll get it. If you're going to blow it up anywhere, there at the No Name Nationals is the best place because you'll have a whole lot of friends to help you fix it.
That's a fact.
Well, we need a pit thrash, so.
We can do it. We can do it. We're going to have all kinds of people with talent to do it. So.
Yeah, that's no doubt in that.
What are you planning on with? Are you planning on trailering or driving? How are you working that out, Don?
I was going to trailer it in case something broke. That way I can get home because it's 900 miles. That'd be a long way to limp it home.
So is Brian trailering it out?
Yep. He's coming down today. And Buffalo Brian. He's coming
Cool.
down early. We're going to load up. He's already got his vacation scheduled.
And Brian does demo derby stuff, and you can see some of that on the One-Eyed Cat channel.
Yeah, he's got a 72 Mercury Montego, I think, right now. He's getting ready for next year.
Yeah.
Nobody
Chris Greenaway has been looking forever for a 72 Mercury Montego, and I don't think he's in here right now. I wish I'd have thought of that when Chris was in here. It's like, oh yeah, Brian's got one. He's demoed.
Thing's gonna be a thrasher.
Well, he already pulled the motor. Had a 429 with the C6 behind it. And yet Brian sold the motor for, he wants to put a Chevy 350 in it because
Yeah, sure.
Cheap.
yeah, and they're almost bulletproof.
You know the kind of subs that Brian could get just off of the demo derby hate crowd? Man, he could just be rocking.
Right.
I mean,
That's what Brian should do. Brian should bring his demo derby car to No Name Nationals and run it down the track.
That would be cool.
As if he's got it ready.
I
A
can
new
see
car or a
that.
wrecked car, though? Yeah, a new car or a wrecked car?
Well, we had a dirt track car last year, so why not?
It's a fresh car, I believe.
It's still straight. The owner of it tried to find somebody that wanted to restore it and this and that, and it's so big nobody wanted to do it. But the guy he tried for a year to find somebody that wanted to preserve it and this and that, and nobody wanted it. But with the internet, you think he could have found somebody, but
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think so.
How many 72 Montegos are out there? I get it.
actually I got a video on my phone I never did post. So I ought to put that out there.
Yeah.
Of the
So
Montego.
we got
Yeah,
3 channels here that are going to make it real soon.
Yep. Yeah, I look forward to all of us actually meeting down there and making the 500.
That's something else I'm going to do here real shortly is the 428 is going to get set back down in the rat rod. That'll be some good content.
I'd like to see that myself.
Ron English
I'm
said
just
we
waiting.
need another trailer and truck. I get that. But we had what 2 or 3 2-car trailers that showed up at Sykeston last year. That's becoming a thing.
Yeah, I'll
Doug
have to see
Nart's
if any of my
chicken
friends
nuggets and
will
roller pants.
I think the number of people show up this year is going to be quite impressive compared to last year.
I think last year was impressive. We have more this year.
Yeah.
It'll be even more impressive.
We went last year just as spectators, and it's like before we even left the property, it's like we're participants next year, baby.
LNA Auto Works, yes, we do plan to have a little test and tune before we go hot for the bracket. Not necessarily a whole lot of it, but we do plan to have
Subscribe
it.
to LNA Auto Works. He was kind of worried last time I heard him on a live stream that he was not going to make it. So definitely go check out his channel.
I'm telling you,
Done.
those guys that show you every day, you can make. James and James had 40-some subscribers and got it in 2 weeks. Those guys hammered away.
Yeah, they
You can
did.
do it.
Great content.
Brian, I am telling you, with 194 days and 2 hours, 3 minutes, you can do it.
I still
Just gotta-
plenty.
Just keep making content.
Look at how
Oh,
dudes with wrenches blew up.
And one other thing, real important, I should mention. Sunday, I plan to do the first content creator workshop of the season. We're going to do those once a month, each month through September, content creator workshops. And that's going to be a live that's all just for channels to come in there and we can help you make channels that'll build subscribers and build an audience. Okay. So we cover stuff like how to title videos and thumbnails and editing and all that kind of stuff. That's the live for that. The person who's probably the best ambassador for that last year was Barrow's Garage. he took notes in those content creator workshops. Barrows has, how many subs do you have now, Barrows? 3,000 something. So yeah, he figured it out, and
that's this Sunday, John.
This Sunday we're going to have one. I will put out the thumbnail very soon. I'll get it pinned down tomorrow and put it up, and we're going to see what happens. So, cool. And anybody's welcome. So whether you have an established channel or new channel, we're going to have a content creator workshop this Sunday. Be the first one of the season.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pay more attention to those. Last year, I didn't really, because I was just a spectator. But as a participant, I got a new phone now. It's one thing I want some feedback on, like a movie editor to download phone, because I'm not, because I looked for movie editors and it's like there's 100 of them. So I want to get some feedback on what's a good one. Because
doing all your editing? You doing all your editing right on the phone, Don?
Yeah, I was doing it all on my old one that had was it iMovie, which wasn't bad. There's not a whole lot you can do, but it got me by. But today's technology, there's so much out there.
Hey, LNA Auto Works, make 2 to 3 minute videos, because if you're brand new and you want people to take a chance on you, take a minimal amount of their time, and then the more subscribers you get, the longer videos you can generally make and retain that good audience. We'll talk about all that stuff on Sundays. And we'll talk about all the different kinds of editors and all that kind of stuff. Doug Narden is going for Aurelio's Pizza after he gets some Mopar parts at Cope's place, I'm assuming. That's what's in Lowell, Indiana. So with that, we're right up against our time. Do any of you guys have anything that you would like to plug? Anything you're doing? Any questions you have? Anything you want to ask the chat?
Anybody wants to trade stickers? I've got a whole stack of them.
I'm finally starting to get some actual decent stickers in. My email is the same as my channel name, 6%recycled@gmail. So you send me one, I'll send you one back for sure.
Excellent. Well, guys, with that, Don, you got anything?
No, not really.
Not at the moment? All right. Well, we're going to call it a night, and I will be back Sunday for Content Creator Workshop. And don't miss AHRA Tech Talk Live on Wednesdays with Professor P and Dallas. And with that, we'll be seeing you guys again soon.
All right. Thanks for having us, John.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Anytime.